Have you heard that? Have you ever seen Rocky the film or like Creed?
I've seen Creed.
I watched Creed last night actually.
Did you?
I finished the first one. Yeah, we watched the third one in the cinema.
Yeah, you've done what me and Shannon have done. We watched the third one at the cinema. We've watched the first one. We've not watched the second one yet.
Yeah, we literally
want to watch it all together.
Yeah, we can watch the second one all
You
together.
watch it all together.
Yeah,
you want to come round?
we can actually that'd be quite good.
Right.
Yeah, so we better sort of
Coming? You and Annabella coming?
Yeah.
Annabella will be limping.
I made Annabella watch all the Creeds.
Oh well, you can't
in chronological order over like a day,
Well,
and then we went and
while
watched
she's
it in the
bed.
film. No. Oh, yeah. My
Shout
girlfriend's
out. Give her a
not.
shout out.
Yeah, shout out to Annabella, who's
Get well soon.
she's had a bit of a tough time recently. She's had her wisdom teeth out. She's done a knee. She's
She's with Josh.
She puts up with me. Yeah.
Cooks all your food.
She genuinely does.
Imagine if you were on TRT as well. Wow.
Yeah.
You'd be so bad.
You'd be really bad. You'd be really angry at her.
Yeah.
You'd be really angry.
Hey,
You need fucking fine. Get out of bed.
Right, that's going to be... People might not get that. People might.
Yeah.
We'll
Yeah.
move on.
Yeah. We'll
that's
move
what
on.
I wanted to say.
Let
about
me
the
go
Creed thing.
back.
Yeah, that's
Right.
what I was going to say.
Rocky says to Adonis something like one step, one punch, one round at a time, and that is
I just got
prep.
goosebumps. Sorry, I just got goosebumps.
Sam, put that in black and white and edit it up there.
Yeah, this is Machiavelli motivation. But that is prep.
Yeah.
It's literally like each hour, each day.
Well, the issue is that people don't have a routine, and it's the same in off season. So that's what we were saying. Like people who don't have a routine in off season then think, oh, I'll do a prep.
What would you say is more important, routine wise, off season or prep? Because I personally think like eating, I don't think you can get up to high. I think you can get shredded without a routine.
Yeah.
I think you can get like
you
peeled
can't
without
get
a
on
routine.
a lot of food.
Yeah,
I
I
don't think you can get a lot of food in without a routine.
no.
Because it is legitimately a job. Like, and that sounds cringy to say it's a job, but it is a job. It is a case of turning up and getting your meals in. You know.
Yeah, I think you can get peeled without a routine with like really good discipline.
Yeah.
Because if you haven't got a routine but you're disciplined and you don't overeat, you'll get peeled.
Yeah.
But you need to be in a routine to get on a good amount of food and actually get heavier and get a lot stronger.
Mm.
So yeah.
I would agree.
So we all agree on
Off
that.
season is way more.
It's not. It's hard.
It's not harder.
Yeah.
It's so much more of a process than what a prep
It's longer.
is.
Yeah, it is a long.
It should be
yeah.
longer.
Yeah.
Like it's a longer process. If anything, is a bit more of a tedious process. It's
Yeah.
not as exciting.
You
It's more
you
monotonous.
do not get the return like you do on a prep.
You don't get any
You don't
the
see
instant,
yourself
like,
change every week.
gratification of like.
No, and then you go on a podcast with two people that you think are your mates, and they just tell you that you've got a muffin top and
Mushroom top.
a mushroom.
Right, let's have an update on you. Give us an
Sound?
update on your prep, mate. Couple of weeks.
Yeah, a couple of weeks. Not long now. It is coming around quick. We are currently 2.5 weeks out to the PCA. I think it's Northwest.
I think Northwest and Northeast are like consecutive weekends.
Yeah, I'm not sure. It's the 7th of May, so yeah.
It's the Northwest.
It's Northwest, right. So yeah, 2.5 weeks till then, and then 3.5 weeks till the JT Classic, which is the Two Bros qualifier. Like it's a regional, isn't it?
Yeah.
And then I'm doing the I was gonna say PCA show in Poland. No, I'm doing the
can if you want.
Poland. Yeah, the Poland. There is actually a PCA. The Universe that weekend. But no, I'm going to Poland for the show on the 27th, 28th for that weekend. For the pro qualifier, so it is coming around very, very quickly. Like the thought of stepping on stage in 2.5 weeks is pretty wild, but then I'm definitely at that point where 2.5 weeks seems like so far. Like 2.5 weeks in the grand scheme of things is nothing.
No.
Like I'll be getting my tan before I know it, but it feels like because it's like everything's broken up into day-to-day tweaks, day-to-day amendments, looking at how I am. It's almost a case where like the thought of even thinking more than a week ahead at this point is like wild, but. Genuinely, like as I said a moment ago, I can tell I'm lean, can tell I'm pretty tired, but I'm not like on death's door. I can still function. I'm still training really well. It's just a case of being pretty lean, and yeah, like from a visual perspective, it's quite nice because I'm pretty much bare. Like I don't really have that much more to
You're
come
pretty
off.
lean, mate. Yeah.
You reckon?
Yeah.
Well, you saw me. I think was it about
A month ago?
Yeah, a month
Yeah.
ago, and you were like, "How many weeks?" And you were like, "Okay, you're pretty good for this point." Like,
Yeah. Now you're like you could literally rock up to any show.
yeah.
I
I
reckon.
said this to Sinai on the drive. I was like, if there's a show this weekend, I wouldn't, but I legitimately could be like,
Yeah.
I could just hop into a show this weekend. I could have hopped into Mercia. I could have,
Hey,
You could have done that for the past 2 months, but you can still be better.
Yeah.
Like, that's the thing.
Yeah,
And
like-
that's why the timeline is set out as it is, because you won't be your absolute best at the PCA,
No.
but you'll be very good and we'll learn from what could be better. and then you'll be bang on for the regional, and then you'll be even better for the pro qualifier.
So, yeah, everything's kind of ticking over nicely, which at this point, like, you'd imagine it should be. Like, I set myself up to the point where I wanted to be very close to 100% at this point, and it is literally just a case of, like, making sure to not lose all my fullness, because my chest and my delts just run flat if I push a bit too hard. And then as well, just make sure to train well, let training drive
We've
the
had the same
progress.
routine for the past month.
Yeah, it's
really.
literally not been like, it's been like literally Sunday.
Slight tweaks, but like
yeah,
the same
it's
routine.
been Sunday, Monday refeeds pretty much. We
Yeah,
added
5 days.
yeah, and then 5 days baseline. And like, to be fair, it was a little bit longer actually. About
There was
a
1
month
week.
ago, yeah, there was 1 week where it was like a week in between. So it was like a week in between, so 7 days.
Yeah,
so
that's 'cause
fill
you
up.
did the refeed earlier, didn't you?
Yeah, refed earlier, 7 days. Then it was pretty much now it's been every 5 days. So the refeeds are coming around a bit more frequently. So by the time that like the food's almost kind of expelled and been utilised, it's another refeed. But we added a bit more food in on my rest day refeed.
Still drop.
Yeah, still drop body weight. So it's one of them where like I'm at that point you said like I could in theory pretty much eat most things. I'd just soak it up and I'd look better.
I feel like
as a
we're at a
result.
good point now as well. Like
Yeah.
I was saying in the gym earlier, like I feel like I know how you're going to look every day now.
Yeah.
And
It's not like a
I
surprise.
think as well, like 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, 4 weeks ago, everyone was like, "Oh, you're ready," and I was like, "You're not," and you
No.
knew you weren't, but everybody else was like, "Yeah,
I
you're
think,
ready."
well, ready relative to like it sounds cocky, but
No,
like
but
to
we've
other-
said it
To,
before.
to normal people, yeah, you are.
Yeah, and I
Or
have
you
been.
were.
Yeah, I have been. Like when I posed, like I said, about a month ago with you were like, "Shit, you're good. Like you're really good." And like the amount of like people that will say, "Oh, mate, this is really good," but then also it's like, well, it's really good, but not relative to
It's
what
really
I know
good
that I can
for
bring.
an
Instagram.
amateur level,
Yeah.
and for Instagram with structure, but it's not really good, or it wasn't yet, and it's still not for a pro lineup, which
Yeah.
is where you want to be realistically.
Yeah, exactly.
That should be your goal for that this year, like, is to get a pro card and then be like, why not go into some pro shows? Like, so I think that's what you're looking for. I think people go, oh yeah, you look incredible, because you do, but
Oh,
you
thank
still
mate.
could be better.
Look incredible. That means a lot.
Yeah,
That's
watch
a nice,
that mic.
that's a nice
gonna
compliment.
be a weird noise for Sam.
So yeah, no, it was it's a good look. Like, and I'm happy. So it's like it's one of them where I feel I said this to you yesterday when we went through some posing. Like, no matter the outcome, I've done everything that I need to. So it's like I'm already proud of what I've done, and like I know I've made good improvements.
Good man.
I've like looked at myself in every aspect, and I've thought like even if I was to finish dead last in every show, I'm not going to, but that's how I do. I'd be very
Second to last.
yeah.
So
Second
that's the
to
thing.
last.
That's what we always
I'd be
say.
really
like,
proud of how I've
doesn't
handled
matter
how
what-
things have gone.
the result is at the end of the day. Like, whoever turns up, turns up.
Yeah.
If there's someone that's better than you, fair fucking play. Like,
Yeah, that's the way I
Simple
look
as
at it.
that.
Like, I'm going into like the PCA show, and Josh said today, he was like, "Oh, I've trained with the PCA winner." I was like, "Not the overall winner, bro." And like, let's say for example, a freak turns up. Like, I'm going into that PCA show, and I'm like, right, it's a warm up show. I'm not going to be 100%, but I'm going to go in, and if I'm going for a pro card, I need to win the overall. That's the minimum. And if I was to get beat, let's say I don't even win the class, I wouldn't be like, "Oh my god, that's me done." I'd just
no,
be
you
like,
just go, wow, there's a
wow,
freak.
there's someone
Yeah.
who's amazing who's turned up, who
Yeah.
must have like who's just beat me. And that's the way it is. That's how competing is. And it's one of them where like you're getting judged, and I've said this before, you're getting judged off how you look, off other people's opinions of you. So you can only control what you can control. And I think when you know you've done absolutely everything perfectly, and I can say that flat out, I've got absolutely no doubt that I'll be turning up and I'm going to be fully confident knowing that I've done everything needed. You know?
We've said before as well, like, especially for the softies out there. Sorry, softies, but for people who really sort of put so much weight on other people's opinions.
Yeah.
Bodybuilding isn't a good sport for you.
No.
Like, legitimately, I couldn't really care what someone thinks about how I look. If someone gives me a bad comment about how I look, I'll go, okay, cool, that's like constructive criticism.
Yeah.
If someone says to me, your legs are shit, I'll go, yeah, I know, they need to be better. I won't go, someone said my legs are shit. You know what I mean? Or even if someone said, if like I get feedback and they go, your legs need to be bigger, I'm not going to go, what? No, they don't. Like, yeah, I'm not deluded. My legs aren't very good. I know they need to be better. Like, we've said before, like, that's the job of you and the coach. That's not the job of the judges to tell you that. The job is you and your coach to be realistic and not be deluded and go, this needs to be better. Whereas I feel like people are almost like so self-conscious and get so sort of worked up by actually having some feedback. It's like, that's bodybuilding.
Yeah.
If you get upset about being told about your physique, that's bodybuilding. What are you doing? You know what I mean? Like, that's the whole point. Like you were saying, you know, you can't have that opinion. You can't let other people's opinions get you down or get to you.
Yeah.
in regards to competing. Otherwise, it's probably not a sport for you.
Yeah. So your body weight now, how does that compare to your last prep?
I was 99.7 this morning, and the lowest I got down to was 92 point, I think 3 last prep. So yeah, like 7 kilos. But I'd argue it's a weird. I don't think it's hard, isn't it? Because it's a different sort of look. Because I was 92 kilos, but I was flat, and I was 94.8 kilos for the finals. So it's around like 5 to 7 kilos gained. But then also, like I'm sharper in a lot of areas, but I don't think that's objective body fat. Like where I'm leaner, it's a different sort of look. Like I feel I look leaner now than I did when I last stepped on stage because I've got more muscle and I'm fuller. But it's not like so it's quite challenging to assess. And also, I pulled off such an aggressive amount of weight towards the latter end of the last prep that it was like, is that really true accurate weight? And it's a completely different look. So it's about 7-ish kilos, 7 to 8 kilos gained.
You do look a lot fuller now.
Yeah.
Like at the end of the last prep, you did look like, you know,
Gaunt.
I looked.
Like your
I-
face
you
and
look
everything,
Yeah, I
so
looked-
flat.
Yeah, I looked deprived. Like I looked relatively like natty, but I was at 16 weeks or it's 17 weeks out. I looked, in my opinion, I didn't look like an enhanced men's physique guy.
Yeah.
I was very good condition. I was really sharp, and I had good lines where it needed to be. But like my delts didn't have the same pop. My chest had no pop at all. My back was pretty weak. My legs just lost. It was a completely different look. Like I feel like I look more than 7 kilos relative to the actual like bubbliness.
Yeah.
But then at the same time, like I don't really. We've said like if I was to get down to 97 kilos over the next, let's say 2 weeks, if I was to pull off another kilo and a bit, if I continue to look better, it's not going to be a bad thing. I don't think I need to. I don't think I really need to pull off much more.
I think you've even at 100, 101, you were saying I don't think I need to, and you've kept getting better.
Yeah, exactly. So
Yeah.
it's an interesting one.
Like
but
we've said, it is almost like the lighter you get, more often than not, the better you get, as long as you don't let performance drop off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which at my last prep, 4 weeks out, I was pushing so hard my performance would drop off. I was doing more cardio. I was actually technically eating more than I was now. But because I was doing more cardio, my steps were higher. Fatigue wasn't like handled at all that well throughout the prep. So it was a case where towards the end it was just like, let's just throw everything at it.
First prep as well.
Yeah, exactly.
You learn
This
it.
prep, it was a case of doing more out the gate. Cardio. I didn't do cardio daily till 6 weeks or 7 weeks out last prep, where I've been doing cardio daily for pretty much the entirety of the prep. My food has been lower, literally like objectively throughout the entirety of this prep. But because it's resulted in condition getting ahead, I've managed to refeed. So it's been a case of like almost, okay, I can push harder, but then I'm also filling back up. So I think it's just been a sense of just handled like really well. Like in my opinion, I don't, unless something was to go wrong over the next 2 weeks, which touch wood, hopefully nothing does.
Table's
But
getting a lot.
yeah.
Yeah, it is.
yeah, exactly. Josh
What do you reckon to the table, mate?
Really nice table.
Yeah.
Very round.
Yeah, it's round.
I like the it's almost like a stained wood effect.
Yeah, it's lovely.
It's
So
lovely.
yeah, that's my prep. That's where I'm at. Anything that you boys want to ask or add, or anything that I forgot about, or anything we covered?
I don't think so.
No.
Sound right, Finn. Update.